Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now I've just watched James Bond 007 Skyfall. So I just thought I'd throw up a quick review on that, as I do quite enjoy this movie. Yeah, this is the third installment, I think, of the Daniel Craig Bond movies, which, in my opinion, the best Bond, other than maybe like Sean Connery or something, the original, but still that's even debatable, but to me, just the most quintessential Bond is Daniel Craig. And I think Skyfall is my favorite Bond movie that's came out of the movies that he's been in. And it's a good movie. The first thing I'll say is the cinematography, top notch, awesome. And again, all the shots of like the cities and the different like the different lights of the different cities, and being at the top of these different skyscrapers and going all over the world and stuff like that. Really, really cool. My favorite scene, I think, in the whole Bond series is the scene in this movie with the Komodo dragons. That is just, well, that's just exactly my kind of movie scene in general. That is just so cool. I loved that scene. And, people that study movies a lot will know that James Bond was actually a heavy inspiration for my favorite action hero, Indiana Jones. And I think, because when you hear Spielberg talk in interviews, he said he wanted to make an action hero kind of a movie franchise, but with somebody of some sort of special ability or special class or whatever, but really hone in on like the globe-trotting aspect of how James Bond like travels the whole world to get to all these different places that he needs to be and see these different people and take these different people out and stuff like that. In Indiana Jones took it up to like the next notch. Like it's like really like adventure based, like it's all about the different places in the world it's going. But this movie, out of all the, because I can see the inspiration from the old Bond, because they were a lot more like bright, sunny, and adventurous, and comedic and stuff like that at times. So I can really see the inspiration from the old Bond films. But to me, of the newer ones that have came out, like ever since like the 2000s, like 90s, like that era, of all the new Bonds that have came out, Skyfall has the most of that sort of it's not like an old school movie, like it's pretty new wave seeming, but it brings the old idea of that globe-trotting aspect of things into the new era, the best of any of the other ones have done and attempted. And that's generally what I gravitate to this movie particularly, and James Bond for too. I mean, I don't watch James Bond a lot. I was never like a huge heavy-duty fan like some other people were, but every once in a while I just get a just a bit of a craving for some Bond, so I got quite a few of the movies to satisfy that fix. So I mean, as far as negatives, like any action movie, then the stunts are awesome, stunts are great, but some of them go a little bit over the top. I'd say this one is actually not as much like that as some other ones in the series, but no, I mean, like always, some of them just go a little bit over the top, or can be considered a little bit cheesy or whatever, but there's not a whole lot to nitpick. I mean, it has a good flow to it, like it's not very long or anything. It's like an hour 45, maybe 2 hours. Well, I guess that's a bit long, but it doesn't seem like it. It's got a good flow with, starts and then it ends, and it's just a good, good ride in the meantime. I think for grading the movie, I'd give this one, I think I'd just give it a solid B would work, I think. Because I don't have as much like nostalgia for this movie or these movies or anything that really, because like as I've clarified, a lot of the movies that don't seem that good that I've given really high ratings to are a lot because of my own, like I fully admit that they're because of my own history and nostalgia for the movies, or an appreciation for the attempt of the filmmaking or something like that. But this I give a solid B, because it might be like to somebody who's a hardcore fan, or to even just a mainstream movie-going audience or something, this would seem a lot more top-notch and a lot more like worthy of a higher grade than some other movies that I've reviewed in the past. But for me personally, it's just a random. Once in a while, I just feel like watching some Bond, and when I do, I usually pick out this one or one of the movies I got, and I usually watch maybe 1, 2 movies, 3 movies, and then I'm good, and then I don't watch it for another while. So for a movie like that, for me, I find this one the best one to go to and just a perfect watch. So I think just a solid B, right down at the good level, but just medium too, is the perfect grading for Skyfall. Thank you very much for watching, everybody.